Did you send that T-Mobile to the attorney?
Yeah.
You sure?
We're on. I forwarded it.
Okay.
So I can go and start?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to bring this meeting of the Fraser Park Public Utility District, the regular meeting agenda for Thursday, April 10th, 2025, starting at 4 p.m. I'd like to bring the meeting to order. We do not have additional teleconference locations right now. Everyone is here. So disregard the additional teleconference location. And I'm gonna start by, I did the call to order by pledging to the flag. If everyone can please rise. Ow. Ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. You can be seated. Okay, roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Here.
Director Nyman.
Here.
Director Gibson.
Here.
Director Kelly.
Here.
Director Schoenberg is here. We are all present. Item 2, discussion vote adjust agenda if necessary. Do you know if we need to adjust the agenda?
Well, I'm gonna say that we need to, not do the closed session. Is there somebody here to give us any information?
Okay,
We could, remove the, janitorial services, because I still haven't got a second quote.
okay, that's which item?
That's 19.
Okay, so far we're removing, at the moment, we're removing, items 11. Well, there's Curtis. Curtis, are you gonna have any information for a closed session, or should we, get rid of that item?
Yeah, no, I won't have any information for that.
Okay, so we're going to disregard 11, items 11, item 12, item 19 is gonna be tabled until the next, regular meeting, I believe, correct?
Is that it?
And then, anything else?
We need that in the motion.
Okay.
Yes, I make a motion that we table 11, 12, and number 19 until the next regular meeting.
Well, 11 and 12 would be,
Well, that's still gonna be on the other one, so it doesn't matter. So this one, it will be put on the regular meeting.
Right.
Cause that other one's already
that's
on.
fine.
I'll second it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, I'll accept Kelling's second. Any discussion before we take a roll call vote? Okay, Garcia,
Aye.
Nyman,
Aye.
Gibson,
No.
Kelly,
Aye.
and Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes 5-0-0. We will table those items and move on to item 3, public comments. These are items not currently listed on the agenda. We limit this to 5 minutes. Thank you. Does anyone want to do a public comment for an item not listed on the agenda? Okay, hearing none, I'll move on to report of officers, starting with the president. We did do, but I'll bring that up in the T-Mobile ad hoc. So we did meet today and some other time for that. I did sign a claim between the last meeting and this meeting, and I can't remember what else. So that's, I think, all I have. How about the vice president?
Negative, nothing at this time, thank you.
Okay, secretary.
I signed some
Minutes.
minutes.
Okay, treasurer.
I signed, the resolutions for the fee thing.
For the 218.
Standby, for the 218 standby fee thing.
Okay.
And you'll cover your transfers in the meeting.
Yes.
That's right, I said something else, too. I can't remember what it
We'll
is.
do that
I'm
as
sure
well.
it'll come up. Oh, and I also forgot to say that, I'm in pain today, I'm having brain fades, never mind, I'm sure it'll come during the meeting. JPIA representative. Oh, that's what it was, the bonds, I did check because I don't think that's on the agenda, on the, bond amounts. And we have been paying the 200,000 for quite a long time. We did write a letter to the USDA, years back questioning that. I think in 2014, we went from 10,000 to 200,000. It was supposed to be 1 million at one point, and I was questioning it back then, and I guess we wrote a letter to Dan Johnson at the time, who was USDA, and he felt as long as we were covering the amount of the principal plus interest on the bonds, that we would be okay. And so it does pretty much cover the amounts of principal and interest, so I think I will drop that and not worry about it. It's just the amount went up quite a bit, but it's still covering, so, so all the directors are covered for that except for one, and then that person isn't a signer on the bank statements. It's just really to cover the payment of the bank for the loans. Okay, and then our normal, I guess, we're normally required to have a bond, but that was $10,000, which was, I guess, good enough for years. So anyway, that's that. So I did look into that. Anything else on report of officers? Okay, item 5, board member initiatives. Are there any board member initiatives? Okay, item 6, our manager's report.
And, this month, we had 4 water leaks going for quite a while, small ones. But we had to cut out sections of pipe, so I opted to do them all at once, do boil notice. Shut down the water to the pressure zone. We got 3 of the 4 done. The 4th one we weren't able to get to, but we'll be able to do that one live, so. But so we got, and we discovered some information that, will be useful when we replace parcel B. Found a line that shouldn't really be there, but it comes from the main pressure zone and goes right into the yard. I suspect they ran it when they, had to keep parcel B's, pressure zone in water when they replaced the tank. So now when we have to do it again, I know where the line is, so that's good. And then I'm running an ad for another field guy. I'm trying not to hire a 3rd guy, to save money, but I think I need to at least start entertaining the thought of hiring a 3rd. The guys are always on call, always on backup. But, it's been a week and I got 1 application, so I don't know. I mean, people are gonna be actively trying to find a job, but we'll see what happens there. Today I went down, one of our pumps has been, problematic, and I went to Harbor Freight and bought a $250, pump, a small one that's for like meter boxes and doing repairs, and I bought the warranty on that. There was like $63 or something. That brought it up a little bit, but it saved a ton of money by going to Harbor Freight. They're not the best quality, but they're good for pumping mud. And I think that's it.
Great, thank you. Any questions for our manager? Okay, moving on, standing committee reports, accounts payable committee.
We met, we went through invoices, and asked Deborah to cut checks, which we will discuss in, the accounts payable financial.
Okay, any questions in regard to that? State update meeting is next week, so that's not happened yet. Quarterly financial committee has not happened again yet. I'm not sure when that next date is, but it's a little ways off, I believe. So, that's it for 7, unless there's any questions. On item 8, ad hoc committee reports, planning project committee. Planning project committee.
Did you cut me?
I saw something, but we got paid for. Crazy. Yeah, planning project ad hoc, 326. It was $16. It wasn't much. We met.
Oh, you guys came in and did that little short phone call with the state.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what
Council
happened, but-
Ruben.
I don't remember, I'm sorry.
I get it.
I can't report it, sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm having a brain freeze too. I believe that was in regard.
I'm sure
to-
it'll
Oh,
come
I
up.
know what
the
it was.
other
It was in regard to the budget and,
Yeah, something.
oh, no. It was in regard to that, item I needed to sign, which I did sign, which we went over to make sure that the checklist was correct. We went over it with Ruben and Dee, and Ruben, got all of our answers, because on the checklist, you could only put yes and no, you couldn't even put the NA that
Oh,
they
that's
wanted.
right, that's
And
right.
so we briefly, it was a very short meeting, we went over that, and then I signed it and checked the appropriate boxes, and then he said that he would fill in whatever, appropriate blanks or whatever he could fill in with his supervisor, so that was that. Meter well project committee, I don't believe we met. Correct, yeah. Easements and deeds committee, we did not meet yet.
No, we're not.
Standby fee committee,
We haven't met anymore.
okay, didn't meet yet. Rate study committee,
Nope.
okay. T-Mobile lease committee, we did meet. You have on your desk a letter that, okay, so we've gone back and forth a couple times. Our pro bono attorney, has been helping us. He wrote some, on his letterhead, a few items to T-Mobile. They wrote back, as usual, not making all that much sense. So they wanted us to sign a 6th amendment that took us back to the pricing of 2021. We weren't happy with that. So I wrote this letter today with the help of Terry, and we sent it to the attorney to forward to T-Mobile. So he checked it, looked it over, and is going, I think he already said he was gonna forward it today. So what this does is it says that we would, like a new lease, rather than the amendments, because they don't make sense. But we'll agree, they said the only way they would do a new lease was for us to agree to all previous terms without red lines based on their standard lease template. We told them we were agreeable to that. Which they were very concerned about 9 years being left in the renewal. We said we would give them 10, just to start fresh, which is, long, but whatever. I mean, we would have had that anyway, had we signed their amendment 6. It gave them an extra year. We agreed to the same prorated amounts and dates. They prorate every October and give us a very tiny increase for October. And then in November, they give us a 3% increase. So based on the original date in 2004, I believe, when they installed the equipment. The new starting amount we're asking for would be $2,581.84 rather than their amount of 2011.
Yeah,
15.
15.
yeah, because we don't want to go backwards.
Not the whole thing, yeah. And additionally, we asked for our back pay that they owe us for 6 months. That was calculated incorrectly based on that number of 2011-15, which is an incorrect number as far as we're concerned. We reminded them that their 4th amendment was just from June 2021 to July 2023, and they were trying to go back to that and saying it was 2024. That their next amendment was for the increase by $300 for the generator, and that was in September of 2023 on their 5th amendment. Their 5th amendment did not state that they go backwards in pay, and we stated that. And then we gave them documentation on all of the amounts and how they've been paying it and where we think the error occurred. And the fact that in their lease, it says that the 5th amendment, if there's a conflict between the 4th amendment and the 5th amendment, then the terms of the 5th amendment shall govern and control, which means that what we're asking for should be correct. And then we asked them, like I said, to do a new lease because it's just confusing and everyone's confused. So, I mean, we're not confused, but they are all the people they've sent this through have given us weird
They're
information.
just trying to,
Yes, so that was sent today, hopefully,
Yes,
and
yeah.
that's where we're at. We were here this morning, even though we don't get paid for it, we were with that, and we met for a while and pinned that out. So that's the T-Mobile lease. Are there any questions about that? Okay, then moving on to financial business, discussion vote on accounts payable and financial information. This is Deborah.
Good evening. I just want to mention that I have on my calendar, our quarterly financial meeting is Tuesday, the 15th.
What?
This month?
This is
Oh.
April.
Oh,
Yes,
Yeah. The 15th, huh?
yes.
I don't have it down. I have a problem
That's
because I have a
next week.
bunch of appointments.
Mm.
Because that calendar is so small, I can't even see it, so,
Well, it's not on that calendar.
well, that doesn't help either. Okay.
happened?
So you let me know. I've got the reports ready.
Okay. That's gonna be a Tiffany
I'm gonna
question.
have to
'Cause I think
call,
we're kind of locked in, aren't we?
we're kind of locked in, but like I said, I'm gonna have to reschedule some appointments, so I don't know if that's gonna work or not.
Don't you have a, second in line? Can you designate, follow-up?
I
Somebody else
would
be correct.
prefer not to do that because then it's like, we already have those eyes. I mean, it could be anybody, but
I mean, any of the other three can fill in for her, but,
let me see what I can do and then we'll go. from
thank you,
there.
Deborah, for that information.
Yeah,
Okay. Shall I proceed?
yes, please.
All right. So we prepared one check out of the meter well account for a total of $5,592.85. And that was payable to D. Jasper. We prepared two checks out of the planning account for a total of $1,515. No extraordinary disbursements. And then we prepared 32 checks out of the revenue operating account for a total of $38,831.99. The extraordinary disbursements include JPIA employee benefit, $9,007.47. Primary visa was $5,436.87. PTS rentals, $4,007.16. Edison, $7,081.29. And those were the extraordinary disbursements. That's all I have.
I made, two transfers. Both from, revenue operating into planning. The first one was, for $1,190 for Tom Dodson, that we're paying early for Tom Dodson. And that was FP-084-1 invoice number. The second one was revenue operating into planning for $325 for Young and Wooldridge invoice number 119757. We're paying both of them before they go on the claim.
I had a question for, but Tiffany's not here, but maybe Johnny, so we took the, that payment from our revenue operating, that 1190. But my question to the directors, when we pay things early, shouldn't we maybe try to take everything from the same account? Whether it's the long-term asset account, so that it's easier for her to track and to return the money. Instead of having to keep track of, well, we took 1190 from the revenue account. And now the bigger amounts, we took 25,000 from the CIP, and then she gets the money back, and then,
I think we need to track it because if someone
well,
looks,
I know we have to track it, but what I'm saying is that maybe if we're gonna be paying early, that we try to, instead of just, like, we made the decision this time to take it from the revenue operating, but my thing is that if we're gonna pay early, maybe we should either
Always take it from CIP or something.
I don't agree with that because CIP is for a very specific thing, and if it's not for a long term, thing, then I don't think we should just blanket always take stuff from the CIP, but it depends on what it is, and, you know, what it's being used
Well,
for.
I'm just.
Well, this is a Tom Dodson, and I think this was,
Tom Dodson would be CIP, because that's gonna be a long-term project. That's
well, see, that's what he's
planning
asking.
project.
Should we have taken it from there instead of
Well, I mean,
revenue?
and the only reason I'm bringing that up, Lisa, I mean, I don't think that's a big deal. I'm just trying to make it easier for
Tiffany,
Tiffany, for when we get money back, that she's not always having to, you know, oh, it came from over here and it came from over here and I gotta put it back
As
over
far as
here.
that goes,
But it-
I think we'll be fine, because Tiffany's really sharp with that stuff.
And there's no reason why we do that, because we're not just blanket taking if it's for something that's not a.
Okay, I was just asking.
Yeah, well, that's just my opinion, I mean, there's
We
four
can
more
mention
of
it
you.
to Tiffany next, when she's back, and just see if it's become an issue, and if it's really easy, like I suspect, then we'll just
Yeah.
leave it the way it is.
Okay, I make a motion that we pay our bills.
I'll second that.
Okay, any questions about that? Okay, roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director, Nyman,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
aye,
Director Kelly,
aye,
Director Schoenberg is an aye, that motion passes 5-0-0.
And, one other thing, have we verified what the amount is that, because in 5 days, they're gonna be taking our, was it just the interest payment? Is it it's just the interest payment for,
In April, yes.
yes, on the 15th. So have we verified that we have enough money in the account?
Gary, can we look at that quickly again? I believe we have, but we need to look
it
again.
comes out of what you count.
That's our.
That's the USDA payment fund.
Okay.
We have 95,000, as of the last statement, we have
95,000.
95,007. But I don't know what
I
our,
need to look, I'll tell you right now.
I just think we need to verify it just so that we don't run into,
Oh, you don't want to overdraft $100,000 check?
right.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to either.
I think we're good, but I
Yeah.
just,
And,
All
and
of
and
these
just,
directors do have smaller version of this, but I will.
just so you know, I've been here before when the bank has called and said, we went ahead and paid it, but we need to have the money put back right away. I mean, they know that we have all these accounts there, they know
Right.
that it's just a transfer.
right,
So for loan, 3, the amount due for April for interest. 2025. Is 5,981.25
okay,
plus. April 25 plus 15,300 for loan 4
okay,
plus. $20,947.50 for loan 6.
20, what is it?
$20,947.50.
20,947.50.
Yeah, that's just the April fiscal year interest for all 3.
Okay, so that's all $42,000, so
Yes.
we've got plenty of money in there,
Sweet,
so. Okay,
good looking out though.
Yeah, because we only pay the principal. in
Right.
October.
and then we'll do that later.
Okay, moving on, unless there's anything else about that. We are going to move on to item 10, which is discussion vote on renewing the bookkeeping contract with Deborah Angel. You have that in your packet.
Hey Deborah, do we get to renew you for 20 years?
20 years? No, I don't think 20 years.
Come on, no.
In the packet, it does have an incorrect, it says under term that's gonna, oh, this is the old one, is that what it is? It says it's gonna continue until November 14th, 2024,
Be the old one, yeah.
but
Yeah, there's a lot of wrong dates like that.
Yeah, there's a few,
Well, that's why they're in red. I'm sure Tiffany left them in red, so,
but they're already marked in red, right?
yeah.
So what is the new date gonna be?
You know, Deborah?
I think it's in here somewhere.
Nope.
Well, we have been doing
Sure,
it
we gotta do
annually.
25.
Oh, we've been doing it annually?
Yeah.
We had been doing it annually and I, I think it just slipped by because we were having so much fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because under termination for cause, that date's incorrect as well.
Yeah,
Do we want to just for the record, give the correct dates?
so I think they're all gonna be 25.
Item 6, yeah,
So
it's item
continuing,
1,
yeah,
term.
Yeah,
will be October 10th, 2025, 26.
November.
I mean, November 14th, okay.
2025, yeah.
so 25.
Wait.
Why
I thought it was a year,
2025?
Because
Shouldn't
it's
be-
late.
It's,
That's what she was saying, the contract's late.
it should have been
Oh.
November of 24 or December of
We should have
24.
renewed it already, but we didn't. So we just want to do the 1 year.
So November of
It'll just
25.
be a short one.
Okay,
Oh, and then we'll redo another one in November.
okay, so that's why I
Okay.
said they're all gonna be
Okay, so
25.
item 1 would be November 14th, 2025. Item 2, termination for cause would be November 9th, 2025. Item 6 would be November 9th, 2025. That's it.
Yeah, that was it.
Chair, I make a motion that we approve the new contract for Deborah Angel to continue until November 14th, 2025, and that Tiffany make the appropriate changes. And then we'll have Lisa sign the contract.
I'll second that.
Okay, there's a motion and second. Any questions about that discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye,
Director Sherwood is an aye. That motion passes 5-0-0. So that's item 10 passes.
Thank you, Deborah.
Ooh,
With the
thank-
amendment.
Thank you.
Thankful aye. We're thankful for you, Deborah. Thank you.
Thank you for
Anyways,
the
you have a good
opportunity.
weekend.
You too. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you,
Good night,
Deborah.
Deborah.
Okay, and we've tabled items 11 and 12, the closed session, so we will not be doing that. So we are now on item 13. And that is discussion vote update on Fraser Park Lakewood Consolidation Planning Project. 13A, discussion vote review of the project timeline and budget. I don't believe anything has changed on that. Do we have any new information on that, Curtis?
No, not that Dee updated me on.
Yeah, what I will say is that, we did, Lisa did fill out that, one form.
Okay.
And provided that to Ruben. That was the one thing he was waiting on.
Yeah, it was.
And so he was after that, he was sending it all forward for signatures. And he didn't suspect that there'd be a problem with, because he updated the timeline out to like July of 26.
yeah.
And the budget he'd already given to them, and so we're just waiting on them to approve it.
Okay, item 13B, discussion vote on the acquisition development of well number 8. We're still waiting for the court to give us an indication of when we would be asked to come in again. The litigants are still, what's the word?
Yeah.
We're waiting for them to
They,
obtain a
they need
lawyer.
a new attorney, so we're waiting for that. Once they get a new attorney, then it will go back into the court system. I believe they have until May. And then I'm not sure how that works after that. So that's, well, 8, but we have, been on the property, we've staked some things out, and we're just, I don't know if we did some more things now. that it's
No, but
already-
sent me some artwork for a sign and I approved it and I asked him to send it to the sign shop and I told him either we'd pay the sign shop or reimburse them. And then when the sign's ready, I'll pick it up and we'll put a sign up that says future well side of well 8. So that'll be another improvement that we space out over time to show we're doing something.
Okay, any questions on that? 13C, discussion vote on the acquisition development of well number 9, additional booster and tank site properties, certificate of compliance, lot line adjustment and property appraisals. We, currently did get a return on the title search. There were no issues with that. And, right now it's at the attorney and he's been writing up the, sale agreement. Sale agreement. And, we're just waiting to hear back in regard to that. Do you know anything else about that, Curtis?
No, nope.
Dee's not here, so, but yeah, I think that's still in the works. So, 13D, discussion vote on LAFCO work. Everything's over at LAFCO. Again, we're still waiting on them. Anything new on that, Curtis?
No.
Okay, 13E, it's tabled, that's the MOU, that's still waiting towards the very end of this project, which will be in somewhere in 2026. 13F, discussion vote on Lake of the Woods projects and consolidation. This we do have some representation on. Pam?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Hi, Pam.
Yes.
Okay, so the walkthrough happened for our project, so we just need to wrap up our final claim and notice of completion. Ruben has been officially assigned to our next grant, so that's great. And we are moving the generator portion of that into our $5 million pipeline replacement grant. Nothing new on well number 4. The samples aren't in yet. Samples for the blending station in March, I already let you know they were 2.89 for nitrates, 1.2 for fluoride. PFAS testing. So we did the second testing for well number 1, 2, 4, and 6, and they came back non-detect, which is what we expected. Well number 7 is still being monitored quarterly. So no news on that. So our wells last month, they dropped 1 to 3 feet. And they are still up from January of 2023, 12 to 42 feet. But January of 2024, we're at 0.5 to 12 feet from where we were at the beginning of last year. So we're not getting any recharge. I don't know. Can you guys do some more rain dances or something?
Just keep saying, lower that.
It won't be pretty though if I do it.
Okay,
We
so
tried,
Johnny,
but we only got clouds today.
Johnny, anything on the nitrates for you guys? Last we heard
Yeah,
was 9. Go ahead.
well 5, better this time, 8.5. 1.6 on fluoride. Well 6 is 4.9, so that's holding steady, and 1.9 on fluoride. And then well 6, we're still improving on static and pumping. We're at 23-foot static, 95 pumping. So we're doing good as far as that goes. Well 5 is, you know, we don't know what
Yeah.
level that's at. Although we did do a sand test, Curtis rather brought up the device. We put it on there, and we're not showing a huge amount of sand or anything. So gives me
So
hope
that's
we
good.
can last a little bit longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Praying for you guys. All right,
Thank
do you
you.
guys
Johnny.
do you guys have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
Awesome. Have a great evening, guys. I'll stay on and
Great, thank you. Okay, item 13G, discussion vote on claims and payouts. That's for next week unless we have anything, Carlos, to bring up. You're muted.
Yeah, I was trying to get it unmuted. It wasn't working. Yeah, we don't have anything till next week. We'll have what is it? Claim 53 will be submitted next week on Thursday night with the agenda.
2 weeks. Or 2 weeks, yeah.
Oh, is it
Next
2
week
weeks?
we'll have.
Okay.
Next
We'll
week,
have our
we'll
list.
look at it at the state update and then 2 weeks
Yeah.
for our next week. Okay, any questions, discussion on that? No, moving on to item 14, discussion about update on FPPD meter replacement project, emergency well supply project. That's pretty much wrapped up, not completely, but we, hold on one second, Johnny. We do not have Oscar here, but, I'm gonna go to 14A, and actually, let me go ahead and, since you're, is it related?
Well, it's gonna, yeah, it affects closing out the project and everything.
Okay.
I got an email that had an invoice for $11,000 for, the annual fee for, Neptune. So I started sending emails back and saying, they agreed originally to pay for 2 years, of the annual fee. And then later on in the project, we got them to pay for 2 years of the customer portal. So everybody's been checking on that to try to find where that is. Last I heard, Oscar was talking about including this $11,000 in the last claim for this project. I think he talked to Ruben about it already. And I talked to a guy at Neptune today, the meter guy, that was talking about it too, because I said somewhere it was discussed and talked about early on that they would pay 2 years of the annual fee. So hopefully we get that last claim in, otherwise we'll have to pay the $11,000 from now and forward for that.
But the 2 years would just start running, so are we not? Are they not
We're just
on?
finishing a year that they had already been paying for. When it came time to pay for the second year, because you pay ahead of time at the beginning of the year.
So we started paying before the project's completion when they,
Well, I mean, I think that the claim was submitted, and then once we got it up and running, I mean, it's going from that point. I'm sure they didn't wait until we had 30 days to send me the invoice. I didn't get into all those particulars when it was exactly due, because they actually, I think we'll probably get a paper mailing, and it was like a courtesy to say, here, this is coming up. But regardless, we need to find out if the state is gonna pay for that second year. And then we'll know what it goes from date to date, what the annual is on that.
so you're saying the state agreed to pay, not Neptune?
The
or
state, no,
Neptune?
Neptune did not. The state
Okay.
originally was talking
My
about that they
misunderstanding.
would pay for 2 years of the annual fee, and then we would be responsible for that. The same with the
Okay.
customer portal, we would be due for that as well, when that's done. So, something to keep in mind, and hopefully we get some aspect. Carlos said that he was gonna deal with us about a final, invoice to include it in a claim.
Oscar? Or-
I mean, Carlos, on the email.
You mean Oscar?
No, I mean, Carlos was the email, the guy I was talking to on the email. It could have been Carlos, but Oscar is the one that emailed me.
Okay,
Which are Carlos here?
Yes. From Soho, yeah. The one
Do
that's
you
been
know
helping us
anything
with all
about
the
that,
projects.
Carlos?
No, here, let me see.
Yeah, it came
that is
from
Carlos.
Oscar, I think. Is that right, Joni?
Hey, what?
Did it come from Oscar?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Oscar, he's not on the call tonight. Oscar, sorry. I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
it should have been from
But,
Oscar.
but really, he was only part of it because the initial people was a guy named Johan.
Okay.
Oh, no, not.
no.
Or something to that effect. I was confused about that. Hey, Curtis, do you remember that they talked about saying they'd pay for the 2 years?
Yeah, so we talked about a change order early in the project to pay for those 2 years, and that was approved. So kind of this, in my mind, it was a two-step process where Oscar's working on the one side with you and Neptune to find out if that second year has been paid for. If it hasn't, then it sounds like the state will reimburse us for that second year's payment. I'm working with Bruff and through them Ferguson to figure out, hey, was this ever paid? Because everybody agreed to it at the beginning of the project. So just trying to
Yeah.
figure out, has it been paid? Has it not? And if it hasn't, then it sounds like Oscar can get it submitted as a claim to the state.
Yeah, then that's something that we need to kind of think about is that way later, the customer portal came into play, and I believe they agreed to 2 years of that. And we'll have this project totally closed out if they didn't pay for those 2 years up front. So I don't know how we would get a second claim in on that one.
I mean, we can't close out the project until they would have to send us an invoice and we'd have to, submit it before we close the project out. Cause if they close out the project,
That's what
then
I'm
we
saying,
won't.
so we need to predetermine if, on the two separate things, if they paid ahead of time for the 2 years.
So you gonna check that out for us, Curtis?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I know that we've sent claims in on all the other the retention and all that's been submitted already.
Yeah, other than that, we're doing good on that project. No issues.
Yeah, what I showed Johnny that we had told Bruff and Ferguson to get ordered was 2 years of the My 360 annual subscription. And then there was a My 360 setup fee that was a one-time cost, and a My 360 customer portal that was a remote training. Those three things we agreed to. Is there another one that's coming up?
No, just those.
Okay.
And that brings to mind for the board, I haven't heard any feedback from any customer saying, man, I really like that customer portal. Not one time in the time that it's been here, we send letters to everybody, so we'll have to decide when that second year is up. I would assume that we're not gonna pay for a third year of it.
I don't even know how to get on it.
Unless people are using, yeah, we sent a letter to everybody, but
Yeah.
so that may have been a waste of time for the customer login, because
Well, my husband, he went and he can look at things, but I know he was asking me at one point, we're going on, all of a sudden, we went down and he didn't understand why, and I said, I didn't know, and I can't print it out to bring it in here to ask you. Unless I come in and put in my portal up here and ask you what was going on, and so.
well, that part,
I
well,
don't
that part's
even,
easy. It's simplified life. If the water usage has gone down, whether you think you changed your habits very much or not, the water went down, because they're still so new that, and they're so accurate still, that it's actually billing for exactly what you're using. So like my in-laws, theirs went up. They were like, we didn't do anything different. Why'd it go up? They had 2 flappers that were leaking in their toilet, but only sporadically. So, so far we're lucky that everything is accurate. So whatever your husband's seeing on there is what it actually is.
so
Thankfully.
anyway, that's all I know, is that he's asking me,
So he's the
But I
first
didn't-
one I know that used it.
yeah, I mean, he looks at it, but I
don't even know how to get on.
oh, they sent us a letter with
Yeah.
an actual letter in the mail. It came in the mail. And, it showed and gave you your path, how to set it up and step by step.
So anyway, yeah,
Unlike
so-
all the other
Who
customers.
who knows where I put it, like most of the other customers, I don't even think I read it.
Oh, well.
Okay,
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
well, then you're right. We probably don't
Just
need to
just
pay a third
shows you
year.
where we're at, if the board's not even reading our letters.
Okay, so yeah, we're good there. Thank you, Curtis.
Yep.
Thank you, Curtis, okay,
Okay.
all right,
No question.
so still on, so nothing else on 14A. 14B, discussion about update on bridge loan requests and payments.
Well, we haven't had it, we haven't gotten the bridge slope. I think we signed the document.
I signed it,
Yeah, you signed the document, so we haven't done that yet, so we'll have to look at what we need to.
we were waiting to
We're
find out what
waiting.
we need.
Right, so once we're able to get the loan, we can pull the loan for what we've already submitted to the
Do you
state.
know where we're at on that loan, Carlos? We did submit it. I signed and submitted. You're muted.
Yeah, I do not know, where it's at in the process. Oscar didn't let me know.
Okay. So moving on, item 15, discussion vote on pipeline replacement project. 15A, discussion vote on engineering and design. I don't believe we got anything back yet from Jesse Dollywall. Does anyone know, Curtis, if that came back again?
Yeah, no,
Said-
we haven't heard anything from Jesse yet. We submitted everything back responding to his comments March 7th. So it's been a
And we
little over a
mentioned
month.
it. Yeah, we mentioned it at the state update, but we'll probably need to mention it again
Yeah,
next Thursday,
we'll ask him where it's
if
at.
we can remember.
Yeah.
Okay, 15B, discussion vote on project application. I don't think there's anything else to do on that right now, correct? Carlos, we're just waiting on,
Yeah, the only thing I got from Ruben is that this project has been assigned to him as well, so you know that's a good thing that to keep him since he's already working with us, we keep him on the same project, so it has been assigned to him, so he'll start looking at it here shortly.
very
That's
good.
very good.
Okay, anything else on item 15? Item 16, discussion vote on the standby fee assessment. Anyone know where we're at on that?
Well, we're supposed to be mailing ballots here soon
On the 16th,
on the 16th, but are you guys getting those ready or, oh no, they're supposed to mail them out, right?
I don't know who's gonna mail them. Tiffany's handling that and she's.
Yeah, I think the company's
But rest assured Tiffany's on it, so.
The company's supposed to be mailing them out, so.
Okay, so we will know more soon. I know that Tiffany did check on the room over at the park to make sure that no one else had reserved that. I believe that
That's for
that's
the May 31st.
Yeah.
okay, because we hadn't done that yet, but I believe we're good with that. And so, yeah, we're just waiting to see,
Yeah, she said she has it reserved for between 11 and 3
okay.
on the 31st of May.
So yeah, we're just in a holding pattern on that until everybody comes back and can let us know where we're at. Item 17, discussion vote on the rate study. I don't believe we've moved forward.
Carlos, do you know anything more about that? The guy
No,
hasn't been in touch.
No, we'll Jeffrey says that we can meet with you guys at the latest. We have to be by September for him to finish it up and have it ready to be put into effect in the next year. So between now and September, he'll be organizing a meeting with you guys, and once he does, I'll let you guys know when he wants to meet.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anything else on rate study? Okay, then I think we're done, Carlos, with your
And Curtis,
section, and Curtis. I believe we're done also.
Okay, thank you
So,
guys.
thank you very much. Have a good weekend.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Lisa,
Thank
just a
you.
reminder. Sorry, just a reminder, this is Joan, that if you could let us know when the rate study meeting is so that I can sit in on it.
Okay. I have no idea. They haven't even met yet, so that would be Carlos.
Yeah. We'll let you know, John.
And it would be our ad hoc, which is Director Nyman and Kelly. Directors. Okay, so we will do our best with that, Joan, but if you don't hear, ask again, keep asking. Okay, we're on to 18, continue discussion vote on the district's record retention policy. For some weird reason, I did not write the last page we did.
We did, the last one was 13, but that's actually the last page.
What I've got marked all the way through 12.
I thought we hadn't done 13 yet.
I think we need to do 13. But that's the last page,
Yeah, I
so
think we
let's
need
do
to
it.
do 13.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do that and finish this up and then rewrite it up and double check it and then pass it. So, we are going to start, On staff reports, right now it's 3 years retained. Are you guys okay with that? And I think we decided on the media storage, everything's just gonna say a yes, not a, not a, uh, not a,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, we already agreed on that.
yeah. Okay, so we're gonna be retaining everything. There is some weird stuff on getting to those records, which we can talk about at a later date, but, right now they are all being backed up on Carbonite and they're on the computers of the general manager and the assistant, and I guess if we had a question on something, we would, figure it out at that point, because they're just a little bit hard to get to. But they're there. So,
The roof's
okay.
on top of some of them.
Huh?
I said the roof's on top of some of them.
Yeah, well, that's the paper copies, but, okay, so staff reports, 3 years retained, what are staff reports? That's- isn't that like the stuff when they're doing their reports out in the
To
field?
me, employee evaluation is not a staff report, so I don't know.
No, that's
A
not
staff
staff.
report would be more like if I do a manager's report or something, I would imagine.
Yeah, or field reports or something, yeah, so, I don't know, so are we okay with 3 years and a yes?
Yes,
Okay, state surplus acquisition, I don't even know if we've ever done
We
that,
don't
but,
even have that, but still.
7 years and a
yeah,
yes is
just,
fine with me.
yeah, let's just,
Okay, statements of economic interest, 10 years and a yes?
Yeah.
sure,
Okay, submittals, what are submittals?
Well,
I don't know. But 2 years is good,
2 years and a yes,
yeah.
because we don't even know what it is. Okay, suits, claims, liens, bankruptcy is the life
Plus
of
3
the
years.
thing plus 3 years, and a yes as far as not,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay. Tapes of board meetings,
1 or 90 days.
1 or 90 days.
And now the
No.
tapes are technically the YouTube
Yeah,
And- and Zoom, so that it's just there.
it's just there for as long as YouTube has
As long as
it up there.
YouTube's a thing, yeah.
So, yeah, so this would actually be for the website,
But we
correct?
could leave the recommended requirement there.
I think it's
Even though
supposed to be
we're not gonna
6
do it.
months, not 1 or 90 days for the website.
Okay, okay, 6 months is fine, let's just do
So
6
6
months.
months and a yes.
And a yes.
Tapes of phone or radio communications, do we even tape phone or radio communications?
No, we don't.
We do phone for customer service, so evaluating, but it's
It's-
just gonna always be there because it's backed up to Carbonite.
Okay, so
Or
then,
no, it's V Communications, unless I download it, it's not saved here, it's saved on V
there's,
Communications, yeah. So
so
100 days is fine, yeah,
100 days is fine, okay, so and a yes, right?
yeah.
Tapes of video monitoring, so that's all the stuff that you do with the
1 year.
cameras? That's a year,
No, takes the video monitoring, it records over itself. Over a set time period, which we don't talk about it openly, it just records over itself. There's nothing that's retained for any length of time other than the length of time that we have on the DVR.
and we don't back that.
No, there's no reason to. If
Okay,
something happens, then that's when you download what you need.
okay, so,
So 1 year is fine,
okay,
because
Title of reports.
but we don't have a yes because that's not
no,
storage prior to destruction, so we're gonna say,
that's the same thing with the prior one. The tape-
No.
We're just gonna say no.
yeah, that's fine. Title reports is permanent, and a yes, that's fine. Trial balance,
What is trial balance?
I have no
Some we
idea.
don't deal with, but 10 and yes is
Okay.
fine.
That's
Fair.
fine.
Underground service alerts.
That's the stuff that they get from,
USA.
USA.
Okay, 3 years.
3 years is good and a yes?
Yeah.
Okay, vehicle files, 2 years and a yes?
Yeah.
Okay, vendor information, AT plus 3,
What is
I
AP?
can't remember.
we don't really keep vendor information anyway, but
AT is active.
Yeah, that's fine, active and a yes, so that's fine. Wage and benefit surveys, we don't really do those per se, but I think
3
3
years
years and a
is
yes
fine.
is fine. Water availability reports, that's lifetime and a yes. Water rights correspondence, lifetime and a yes. Water history, rights history, lifetime and a yes. Water right protests, lifetime and a yes. Water rights studies, lifetime and a yes. Work orders except customer initiated, see customer complaints, that's 2 years and a yes, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's everything, and then, we need to look at our appendix B fee schedule. I don't know if we need to change these fees at all.
Well, I mean, how much does it cost us to, we don't know how much it costs us.
no, but everything I've read, and I've read a lot, recommends that pretty much the standard is 25 cents a sheet if it's a copy that they take, because a lot of people do public information requests and they want it electronically, in which case you can't charge them anything. No matter how much time it takes us, you can't charge them for electronic version.
So why is the first page $1?
Probably because you have to dig everything up to.
So you have one, so you have, cause you're doing the work, but then each
And
of,
that's 25 cents, that's 25 cents is a normal copy.
And I think stuff like that is probably, if things start to become a problem like it used to way back when. I mean, typically, we don't charge anybody anything. If it's 3 copies and they want a copy of it, we give it to them. But everything that we've had has been from colleges and stuff, and it's all been electronic.
yeah.
Okay, the only thing I had a question on is it says deposit required of estimated copying costs exceed what? Exceed $25?
Mhm.
Well, then what's the deposit?
25.
$25.
Well, it doesn't spell it out very well, so that line is weird.
Well, a deposit
I
is
think
required.
the reason why you do that is because if you have somebody that comes in and says, I want a copy of everything you got in that file cabinet, and you
Right.
know it's gonna take you a ton of time and money running copies, in which, if you remember, like when somebody was hammering what's that place in the old library, above the old library? They requested tables full of copies and then
Right,
never
but-
came and picked them up.
That's
So
not
the
the,
$25 is gonna help cover that cost.
no, it says exceed $25.
If they're gonna
Deposit
exceed $25,
required if estimated copying costs
exceed
exceed
$25.
$25, but what is the deposit?
$25.
Thought it was $25, that's what it
Cause
said.
if it's gonna exceed $25, then you wanna get at least $25.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they're serious, 25 is reasonable.
What if it's $1,000? We only
Then you
want a
can't-
$25
still-
deposit?
That's apparently
it.
probably all you can do.
That's just the deposit.
Nothing is in our favor when it comes.
But I mean, it doesn't state the deposit. It only says the deposit is required if it exceeds $25.
I don't think it's worth even debating.
Then
So if
then
you
it's
want to,
open
we
to
can
our-
just take it
our
off
study.
there.
Our interpretation of
Yeah.
25.
Yep,
Okay.
it's up to the
if it's
general
only- If it's
manager.
gonna be if it's gonna be $26, we want $25 in advance. That's
Well,
what that's saying.
But I
That's not what
understand where
that
she's
says.
coming
That is
from.
not
No.
what that says. It says if it exceeds $25, then.
Anyway, historically, you don't even charge them for the copies. You, give it to them, and we always ask Alan when anything is complicated with public information requests, we ask.
Okay, so I think we can stop there and then we'll look at the form next
Well,
time.
thank
and that's
you,
all
Well,
we
why
got.
don't we just finish them
Why,
up?
let's just finish
Yeah,
it up.
because we don't have to
The forms
change
are
those.
easy.
We just got title, data record, retention period, duplicated. Yes or no?
We might as well finish it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't take any time at all to do the forms.
It does not have a spot that the board, approves.
That's because most people trust their general manager. But if
We
you guys feel,
specifically
yeah, I know, I'm
said
just
that-
saying,
The board approves
I know. so you
it. So
could
it's
add
not
that line
about
on there if
trust
you
or
want.
not trust, it's.
No, that's exactly what it boils down to is. But anyway, I don't mind, add the line on there, we'll get a rubber stamp and you can just stamp it, board signature and add it on there. Or Tiffany could just redesign it and add that on there.
I think that's why I was gonna wait so we can discuss it.
Well,
Right,
let's
you
discuss
can
it
just
right
agree with changes like you do everything else, the Tiffany will add the line for the board members.
Do you want, just to add a line?
Whatever you want, Lisa,
Whatever
cause I'm
you
not gonna
want.
argue. I mean, I think, cause I'm really
I
done
mean,
with
what more do
this.
you want? You just want to be able to sign off on it, right? You
So
always,
you
it
just
just
want
has
to
to
have a
say
signature line?
board member.
Well, it's not a board member, it needs to be just as the board meeting, we had talked about when
Okay,
we approved it.
So just put board approval, a line that says board approval
And the date,
and the date.
because it would be a motion and then the
Right.
motion. So, okay, I'm fine with that on all of them.
And then the last one was just public records request form. That's what's a piece of the request.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're finally done with that.
Okay,
On the public records request form, do you want a spot for the deposit? Because we need to track the deposit if we take a deposit.
yeah, we can add that.
Where do you want to deposit
Just say,
that?
just say
Just add a
deposit.
line, have
That says
somebody add a
deposit.
line. that
Just says deposit.
Yeah. Okay.
Have a good night, Corey.
Thank you.
Okay, so hopefully that all goes as being recorded and Tiffany has it. If not, we'll have to remember to tell her. Okay, anything else on that? Moving on, do we want to recess?
No.
Okay, new business, discussion vote that's tabled, 19. Item 20, review and approve meeting minutes for 3/6/2025 special meeting, 3/11/2025. Excuse me, AP Standing Committee, 3/13/2025 regular meeting, 3/25/2025 AP Standing Committee, 3/27/2025 regular state planning and project meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the, meeting minutes for, 3/6/2025 special meeting, for 3/11/2025 AP Standing Committee meeting, 3/13/2025 regular meeting, 3/25/25 AP Standing Committee, and 3/27/2025 regular state planning and project meeting, with any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments or typos or other errors that we may not have caught or that may need to be corrected.
I'll second that.
Yeah, there's a motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, that motion passes 5-0-0 for all of the aforementioned meeting minute dates. Item 21, discussion vote on forming and or dissolving ad hoc committees. I don't think we can dissolve the T-Mobile yet.
Not yet. No,
yes.
next time.
What about the, standby fee committee?
Until we got,
Until you,
So one more meeting?
well, until we approve it, I guess.
until you get done with we get
I
done
would
with
say
it
when
on
we
the,
get done with the meeting and then do that.
yeah, after the
I'll-
31st.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
then
something else that
then
comes
let's
up.
keep, number 21 on the next, agenda.
Well, it's always gonna be there.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Okay, but still there's nothing to add. or
22 then.
dissolve. Okay, item 22, discussion vote on future agenda items. Okay, hearing none, we'll just figure that out before the next meeting and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Roll call directors, Garcia.
Aye.
Nyman.
Aye.
Gibson.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes 5-0-0. We're adjourning at 5:03 PM.
Wow.
And I did not see anything back from the attorney, so you may want to check with him.
When is,
I will.
He said he was busy though.
Yeah.